Join me on episode 4 of my Continental Divide Trail series as I tackle the stunning Gila River section. From rugged canyons to serene river crossings, this long-form adventure showcases the wild beauty and unique challenges of New Mexico's Gila wilderness. Expect breathtaking views, trail stories and tips for hiking this iconic CDT segment. So I'm on a 4-mile road walk out of Doc Campbell's post and I'm heading to the Gila cliff dwellings. So when we get there I'll be able to talk a little bit more about those. But freezing cold last night, -4, blue sky and sunshine as you can see today, so starting to warm up. Best way to get warm is really just to get up and get going. It was pretty chilly this morning. Other than that, Doc Campbell's were really good to stay at. Hot shower, resupply, they're all very accommodating. It's really good. All right, see you down the track. My pack is chock-a-block with 7 days of food. This is a 140-mile stretch from Doc Campbell's post to Pytown. The only plus is that I'm hiking in the Gila River, so I don't have to worry about carrying any water. An interesting thing about Doc Campbell's is that all their water comes direct from the hot springs. So the water in the hot tap is hot, but only from this natural source. You shower with this hot water and have to add some cold to cool it down. All the cold water is derived by running the hot springs water through a series of coils that sit in a large pond to dissipate the heat. So no need for a hot water system, just a cold one. Before we get into the Gila cliff dwellings, I'm very happy to report that I've finally fixed my sleeping pad. I actually found 3 holes and it stayed up overnight. So let's hope it stays that way. Here we are at the Gila cliff dwellings. Now a bit of geography lesson for us. So these cliffs were formed about 28 million years ago, they say, when there was a massive supervolcanic eruption with the force of about 1,000 times Mount St. Helens explosion. Anyway, so after that, escaping gases form these holes or caves in the cliffs, and erosion has sort of done the rest. Now they're home to the Mongolan people who lived here about 700 years ago. So we'll go and have a little tour and I'll give you a first-hand view as we walk through this particular cave. All right, so we're about to enter the cave and the first thing I notice, they used timber posts for supports for roofs obviously as well. All right. It's like an anthracite looking lined ceiling. So it's quite extensive. This is quite a large cave, this one, with multiple rooms. You can see those holes in the wall where timber posts used to be. As you can see the leftovers on this one. Quite a small opening, only comes up to, from the ground level, only comes up to mid my chest, so it's only maybe 3 feet high, that little opening. There's another section up here. There's more over there, rooms. Now, how's that for a view out your bedroom window? This section here is really well preserved. There are rooms further on, but they're closed off at the moment. I'm just heading out of the Gila cliff dwellings and I've come across this wall that's got some pictographs on it. How cool is that? Some little ones. Even right up there. With the sightseeing over, it was time to get back into hiking. I joined up with the Gila High route and soon bumped into Chip Crusher, who started out later than me. Not long after, we came to a fork in the trail. Chip Crusher, who hiked the Gila last year, decided he wanted to keep his feet dry and so was taking the high route. I, on the other hand, with trepidation, was going to tackle the Gila River with its multiple river crossings. Now it's the snow on the mountain in the distance there, and it's not that far away, funnily enough. We soon came to a fork in the trail where Chip Crusher turned left and went upwards, while I stayed straight on and ended up descending Little Bear Canyon down towards the Gila. This canyon was beautiful with steep walls, huge pine trees and a running stream. So I'm in Little Bear Canyon now. It's just beautiful in here. I'm hiking down towards the middle fork of the Gila River. Check out how high these canyon walls are rising now. Heading further downstream. Crazy. We've got on this sign, it's the Little Bear Canyon and the TJ Corral, 4¼ miles. So that's just where we've come from. The Gila Visitor Centre is 6 miles, so that was just before the Gila Cliff Dwellings. And then to the Meadows, which is the high route, which Chip Crusher took, it's 8½ miles. And you can see they've got the sign down the bottom, Little Bear Canyon subject to dangerous flash floods during rainy season. You can see that because it's so narrow and so tall. You've got a big downpour, you'd be in trouble in there. This is Little Bear Canyon. And it is flowing into the Gila River. And this is where I enter. Alright, so we're about to cross the Gila River. Got nice dry shoes, dry socks. That's all about to come to an end. I'd film as I'm going across, but I thought, seems like this is the first one, I better make sure I've got 4 good points of contact, 2 walking poles, 2 feet. We'll see how we go. It's flowing reasonably quick, but it's not too deep here, so we should be okay. And just while we're at it, check this out for a background. Made it across, crossing number 1. Only problem was, actually it wasn't too bad, water got up to just above my knees, but my left shoe's filled up with a whole heap of tiny little pebbles, so I'll have to stop and empty those out. But made it. And this is crossing number 2. Crossing number 3. I don't know if you can see, there's a whole heap of little pig type animals. Where are they? Creek crossing 3.8. The other one was too deep, too fast. So this looks a bit shallower. Hopefully be okay. When I first hit the Gila River, the trail leads you straight into the water. At first I hiked my pants up above my knees and did this a few times until the river was too deep. After the water went way above my knees and just below my waist, I ceased worrying about my pants. Creek crossing number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 6 was the deepest. That was up over my knees, up to my thighs. Higher even in spots. These mountain tops, they look very similar to are they called hoodoos? I think they were hoodoos at Bryce Canyon National Park. Similar type of erosion, I think. Crossing number 7. Number 8's just a little one. Only little, I reckon we can film this one. Better not drop the phone though, then we'll be in trouble. When I first started going in the water, I was pulling my pants up above my knees. But after 6 was so high, I don't bother anymore. You can stay down and get wet like the rest of the bottom half. I'm gonna have to stop filming in here. But it's so incredible. The views are amazing. Everywhere you look, on both sides. So that was only a short distance from crossing number 8. And now we're crossing almost straight back over. Number 9. Oh, look at all the little fishies. Number 10. Couple figures. This is crossing number 11. The trail actually crosses a bit further downstream, but it was looking extra deep and mighty fast. Here looks a little bit better, at least I can see some rocks. Just like Bruce Stool, crossing number 11. That was the toughest. Very sketchy. Well, this is number 12. I can't see whether we cross over that way or maybe it's straight up the river a bit and out that side. This is 13, we might take a little bit upstream. This is 14, which is shallow here at the front, but looks pretty deep on the other side, but we'll see. Number 15, looks a bit hairy again. Maybe I'll go back downstream. Oh, number 16, that's officially the deepest so far, because that went right up to the you-know-whats. Anyway, made it across. Next. So when you're on the Continental Divide Trail in the Gila River, when you get to this section, the normal thing to do after you've crossed a freezing cold river 16 times is to head up here behind me, over there, that little trail, and that takes you to the Jordan Hot Springs. I thought, what better way to warm up than to jump in those, except when I went up there, there's 2 people in there and 3 would have been a crowd. So it looks like it's onwards I go. Starting to lose count, but I think this is 17. Coming up for 18. This is 19, which I thought when I first got here, oh, this looks a bit deep. But it's actually not so bad. I can see some rocks out there in the middle, so that's what you like to look for. River crossing number 20 in the last 2 3/4 hours. In we go. Better grip. Righto. Not too bad, only knee deep. A bit rougher down there. Not so bad when you get in the water. Only after you get to about this point you start to get cold. And the other funny bit is usually the worst bits are just getting out. They seem to be the deepest. And right about now you feel better out of the water. But then as you walk on about 5 more seconds, that's when your feet really start to feel cold. But then after about another couple of minutes, they're fine. This is 21, and again it's another one where I can't quite work out where to cross. I'll look back down here, zoom out. It's just incredible, the surroundings here. Number 22. The problem with this one, no sooner have I just crossed 21, now I've got to cross straight back. Anyway, it's got to be done. It's a pity it's a drab and overcast day. I'm sure these giant towers would look so much better if there was some light shining on them. Crossing number 23. Who's 23 for Carlton? Is that David Rhys-Jones at one point? Molly Meldrum? Finally a bit of light on the rocks. This is 24. Hopefully it's not too deep over on that far bank. 25, flying a bit quick here. So 25 was too deep and too quick. But I've been lucky in the sense that this is 25.8. If you sometimes can just bushwhack a bit up the creek, sometimes you can get a bit further, sometimes you can't because you're blocked by rock walls like that. But here you can see it's much shallower. Again, I'm not sure what it's like over on that far side, but I'm sure it won't be that bad. So 25.8. Number 26. It takes the award so far for being the widest. It doesn't look too deep. This is 27, another fast one. Alright, number 28, this one's a double bunger. A little freebie for starters. And again over here, scary looking. Too fast, so we'll walk a bit upstream and see how we go. Number 29, again it looks very fast, so hopefully I'll have a bit more luck again and go upstream. So I got halfway and I've made it to a bit of help. This should get me over the last bit. And over we go. Number 28, a bit towards the end of the day now. This is number 29. Probably we'll get to 30 and call it a day. Now these monoliths over the back here though. Got 30 for the day. Hopefully this will nearly be it. Just got to try and find a campsite now. Get these wet pants, shoes and socks off. Here's my camp for tonight. That in front of my tent is what you call a backpack explosion when you try and work out everything. It's got to go in and out. But we're right on the banks of the Gila River. Beautiful mountains in the background. So far it's not windy, so hopefully it'll stay that way. Morning. Well, I woke up to a balmy 6 degrees this morning. Actually got probably one of the best night's sleep. The sleeping pad stayed up, that was a bonus. So it was pretty warm through the night. The only downside is putting on wet shoes straight off the bat. Not that it's going to matter because in about 5 more seconds I'm about to walk through the first river crossing of the day, so it doesn't matter too much. Anyway, off to a good start. It's 7:45 in the morning, a little bit later than normal, but we're into it now. So as if walking through frozen rivers isn't bad enough, now got to tackle these waist high, chest high reeds. Luckily the path isn't too bad. Done 5 crossings already. This will be number 6. How's this? It's like a road walk across this river. There needs to be more of those. So I'm 1 hour into the hike this morning. I've already done 15 crossings of the mighty, mighty cold Gila River. Finally some sunshine. It's freezing in that water. So I've done 29 crossings already. And it's a bit like the agony and the sort of nearly getting to ecstasy, but the agony's crossing the water. Actually, it's not that bad in the water. It's when you come out the other side, and that's that minute or two as the freezing cold water drains out of the bottom of your shoe. That's when it really gets painful, and you sort of get heading towards ecstasy, but not really. When your feet finally start to warm up again a little bit, but no sooner does that happen than it's back in the water and do it all over again. Anyway, hopefully the sunshine will come into the canyon a bit now and warm us up. Just did crossing number David Mackay, number 43. And don't forget, number 44, Robert Walls.
Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Here we have Continental Rapids Flash Waterfall on the Gila River. Up to crossing creek number 61. For the last hour or so, I've been noticing the creek crossings have been getting much deeper and much faster. I wonder if it's because of this build-up of water through here. Geese or wild turkeys? Maybe wild turkeys, I think. This is crossing number 67. What a great year. knee deep now. Over knee deep. I always find these little bits near the bank is where it gets deeper still. Yeah, up to our thighs, and coming up out of it. And cold wet feet again. Well, they've always been wet, now they're just back to being cold. Look at this great rock. It's like a Christmas tree. So, two things. Firstly, how cool is this cave behind me? And secondly, more importantly, I'm about to do river crossing number 100 for the day. Can you believe that? I've been walking now for just a bit over 8 hours, about 30 k's. I think it's about 3:30, so big day. Hopefully we'll get a few more done. Lots of little caves in this section. You can zoom in up here. Oh, there. Here's our campsite for tonight. I'm at the junction of the Gila High route and the Gila River route, sort of halfway along the river, I assume. It was a long day, but we did all right. So, as I said, it was a long day, so I started about 7:45 and I hiked for 10 hours, I think. So I did about 37 k's, and I ended up crossing the Gila River 123 times. I saw wildlife along the way. I saw a little mob of, I think, javelinas, the little pigs that we saw, some wild turkeys, and I also saw a doe elk. And on top of that I saw 12 bear poops. I never saw any bears, but I saw lots of their poop. Hopefully it stays that way. I wouldn't mind seeing one at a distance maybe. But all set to get to bed now. It's about 7:15. It's been a long day. We'll do it again tomorrow. See you then.